Hey students, this is lesson 134. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to use points and slopes to write equations. And we're on page 12 right now. Go ahead and just see if you can answer these first few questions on the explore part here. And you can check back with me if you pause now and see if you did them right. All right, so it says, what is the equation of line described by the table? Explain how you found the equation. That would be y equals 2x plus 1. And you should have said that since these were going up by 1, the slope is the difference between the y values, which is 2. So that gives us our coefficient. And then the constant term is given by the y-intercept, or the output when the input is 0, the y value when the input is 0. Now we're supposed to use two data pairs to find the slope of the line. And if you do that, you do something like, maybe we'll just use these two here. 7 minus 5 over 3 minus 2. And that's 2 over 1, which is 2. And it says, how is the slope used in the equation you wrote? Well, the slope is the coefficient. Then it says, graph the equation. And if we graph that equation, we get points like this. And it says, what is the y value of the point at which the graph crosses the y-axis? And that's 1. And how is this value used in the equation? Well, that value is the constant term in the equation, the thing you add on there. All right, so what I'm going to teach you how to do right now is how to write the equation of a line when you're given the slope and 1 point on the line. Okay, so we're going to kind of generalize a situation here. So we're given the slope. Actually, let's just go to the first problem here. There's an example of that. So we're given the equation of the line, and the slope is 4, and it passes through 0.15. So the way we're going to do that, remember, we're going to write our equation like this. And we know that this number right here is the slope, and this number right here is the y-intercept, or the constant term. So we can start right now by doing, we know that the slope is 4, so we're going to put that in like that. And we don't yet know what the y-intercept is, but we know that this line passes through the 0.14. So, or 0.15. And the 1 is an x value, the 5 is a y value. So I know that if I take 4 times an x value, plus this extra thing, it has to equal 5. So all I did right there is I substituted 1 in, that 1 for the x, and I substituted that 5 from that point, circle it in red, for the y. And now I can see that 4 times 1 is 4, so 4 plus what number equals 5? Now you can do that a couple ways. You can just do it using mental math. Obviously 4 plus 1 is 5. Or you can do 5 minus 4 to get that, which is 1. So, so the missing number is 1 here. So now I can write my equation. I'll just put 1 right there, and I have it, y equals 4x plus 1. At this point, I think you should go ahead and try that. Why don't you try the next problem here? What is the equation of the line that has slope 3 and passes through 0.24? If you try that now, if you pause now, you can check back and see what the answer is. There's the answer. If you did it right, you should have got y equals 3x minus 2. All right, sometimes we're going to have a situation where we are given 2 points, and we need to write the equation. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm just going to pick 2 points. So 2, 5, and 5, 11. Now, if I graph those 2 points, so this is just a total rough graph, but if I graph 2, 5, that might be about right there where I went over 2 up 5, and then 5, 11 would be a little bit higher. So there is a line that goes through those 2 points, a straight line, and somewhere those 2 lines will cross those. If I draw a line through those 2 points, it'll cross the y-axis and give me the y-intercept. So I need to find that spot also, and I can use my slope to help me do that. So the first thing I'm going to do is find the slope here, and we're going to use the slope formula since we have 2 points. I'm going to subtract my y values, which is 11, this 11, and this 5. And then underneath there, I'm going to subtract the x values, which is the 2 and 5. And the 5 is with the y coordinate 11, so I need to subtract them that way. So I get 6 over 3, which is 2. So my slope is 2. And in my equation, the slope, of course, is the coefficient of x. So I now have this much of my equation, 2x. But I'm missing the b part, so I need something else. And now we're going to go back to what we just learned, that we can find that missing number. We know that when, from this point right here, when x is 5, y is 11. So I know that if I take 2 times 5 plus this extra part on there, it has to equal 11. Well, 2 times 5 is 10, and 10 plus 1 is 11. So I now know that adding 1 to that makes it true. So in my equation, I must have to add 1 also. So there's my equation, y equals 2x plus 1. Now the last thing you're going to want to do is just check that. And since it works for this point, it must also work for this point. So I'm going to say, I'm going to substitute into my equation. When x is 2, y has to be 5. So 5 should equal 2 times 2 plus 1. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So I can see it works there also. All right, you might want to try one of those. Go ahead and try number 10. And you can check back here with the answer for the answer. So if you did it correctly, you should have got the equation y equals x plus 4, and you can see when you graph it that this line crosses the y-axis at 0.04, so our y-intercept is right, and finding the slope, you should see that the slope is 1. All right, if you want to try a couple problems, go ahead, otherwise I'll see you in class.